Well, welcome back. Now it's time for part 2 of this game, the DLC. Let's try out the Knife of Dunwall. Interesting. I'm Dowd, a veteran. None like her. You can't forget what you've done. Killing the Empress and handing her daughter Emily to the Lord Regent haunts you.
One more job shouldn't have mattered. I'd killed nobles before. You could float a whaling ship, and the high-born blood I've spilled. Another noble steps in to replace the last one. All equally corrupt. Why should an empress be different? But she was. I watched her bodyguard's face as they took him away. Dead eyes. I knew I'd pay for this one. Maybe I deserved to. A storm was coming that would shake apart everything I'd built.
No! Get away from her! Corvo! Mommy!
Well, this is getting bizarre. Ah, new power. Void gaze. Okay, so it's basically just the exact same thing as the other thing. Trying to see where that comes out at. Well, that definitely wasn't it. Hey, what's up, outsider?
Dowd, my old friend. It's been a long while, but you've got my interest again. How the years pass and the bodies fall. Did you know that there are only 8 like you in the world, bearing my mark? I'm here because you're right. The Empress was different. This time, you can't just fade away into the shadows. There will be consequences. Your story is close to ending, and even you can't escape it. But what ending will you make for yourself? I'm here to give you one last gift, Dowd. It's a mystery. One that starts with a name. Delilah.
Thanks, buddy. We're heading to the Rothwild slaughterhouse. Bundry Rothwild is a ruthless businessman who owns a slaughterhouse and a fleet of whaling ships, including a ship called the Delilah. Infiltrate the Rothwild slaughterhouse and find out what's behind the name.
For 6 months, the city writhed and changed. For 6 months, I tried to forget what I'd done to the Empress and her little girl. But there was no forgetting. I needed to find my next move. But all I had was that name. Delilah. Who was she? A threat? Or an ally? Word came from my second-in-command, Billy Lurk. In a house built on secrets, Lurk was especially good at uncovering them. There was a ship called the Delilah that hunted whales for Bundry Rothwild. A former deckhand who'd made good. Now he owned a slaughterhouse, and he ran his workers like a prison gang. A ship named Delilah. It could be a coincidence, but it's not.
But it's not.
In Dunwall, things are always tangled up like a bag of snakes.
Bag of snakes. That one wasn't as cool to repeat. As Dowd, you can use your network of spies and corrupt merchants to purchase equipment and upgrades before a mission. You can also pay for special favors. These favors can have a variety of effects in the mission, such as granting access to equipment cache or revealing secret information. How unique. Let's look at upgrades. Yep. More sleep darts. Sometimes I wonder why I even bring the thunder. Alright. Clues. As a result of your bribe, the alarm system has been disabled, and there will be no alert if you begin turning on pressure valves in the refinery area. Bundry Rothwild. No, that's not.
Dowd, you're here. I got bored, so I started without you. Turns out we're here on the perfect day. There's a strike at the plant, and it's no wonder. Rothwild runs this place like a prison. The stupid workers can't even get in without a time card. When the strike started, the butchers confiscated all the cards they could find. They've given the City Watch free rein to use force. If you ever wondered why I wanted out of the slums, here's your answer. There'll be other ways in, I'm sure of it. You don't mind if I tag along, right? Just to keep an old man safe. One last thing. I found something for you. I know you collect these. I'll be on the rooftops till you need me.
Charm. Do we see any runes around here?
I can't get back in. I had no right to take it.
Hard to tell exactly how far my blink goes, but I'm guessing it's not overly far. Summon Assassin. End time. Agility. Arcane Bond. Share power with assassin levels.
Are to confiscate those cards. No exceptions.
I hope you die weeping. All of you. I hope the plague gets you.
Heavens dies.
One, two, Butcher's Crew. 3, 4, body flows.
Things are bad. Could the city get any worse?
Heavens dies.
Damn! Jump past. Wait for him to go. Tell me about all these cards you've confiscated, my friend. The Leviathan's Sorrow. Excerpt from a report on a treaty banned by the Rudshall Trade Council. Little is known of Picardi, credited with this series of pamphlets arguing against the whaling trade. While he is gifted, his views are nonsense and threaten the economic underpinnings of the Empire. Number 1. Enslavement. On the breeding and husbanding of whales versus hunting the beasts in the wild after a natural and free lifestyle. Picardi offers no solutions for where these massive, malevolent creatures might be pastured. Number 2. Dissolution. Laments on the destruction of social bonds between herd members. Picardi actually uses the term families. Number 3. Harmony. Drivel on the aesthetic wonder of what is, in reality, the great and terrible ocean that ever threatens to swallow us. Includes arguments on the gentle nature of the brutes, a notion refuted by seamen who return to shore wild-eyed with tales of the whale's savagery. Number 4. Disruption. Here Picardi is on his weakest footing, issuing up feverish warnings against the displacement or transference of natural beasts from their native environments. So gloves. The Empress. Oh shit, does this stop time? Cool. Meat, Death, Bones, and Song. Excerpts from a butcher's journal. Leona looks worried when I come home at night. She's looking for that spark, our love, the life we had just 2 years ago. All our ambitions, but the more she pulls at me, the more I resent her. The more I bury all that. When her father was killed at the carriage station, I gave up my studies at the Academy of Natural Philosophy. So mismanaged were their finances, with so many debts in arrears, that her mother and younger brother would have ruined had I not. My work feeds us all, and keeps the rent paid to that shriveled old leech Wainwright. I hate this work, but in the time of plagues it takes all one's efforts to stay afoot. In the desperation, the blood and the rats. There are bribes that must be paid to the Lord Regent's City Watch, and Barrister Arnold Timish's dead counters. Offend the wrong bureaucrat and your home is seized, and you're off to the flooded district. So it falls to me. Every day I drive my screaming saw into the beasts, eyes wide open. I studied them for years at the academy and on my trips into the field. Now, working in the slaughterhouse, the wrongness is like a wound in my head. The first months, I worked in a numb state. Then my predominant mood was anger. Now the wound is scabbing over, and on some days I feel a kind of power. My entire existence is meat. All there is in my mind is meat, death, bones, and song. The terrifying songs, they come to me in my sleep now. I look into the great eye as I take life away slowly. There's a kind of deep connection with the beast knowing I'll be coming back again and again, removing pieces for hours, sometimes days. They sing for us, a funeral lament that causes me to tremble. Leona and I still share a bed, but the more she tries to make me feel something, the more I recede. The person I was is dead now. Turn around, every now and then I get a little bit closer, never come around. Oh man, I just realized that's true because people in this world have bright eyes when you look at them with this power on. Turn around, bright eyes. The guy actually dead? Mostly dead.
Attention. Under plague conditions, failure to report for work. Industries deemed vital to state interests has been declared treasonous by the Lord Regent.
Tut tut. Okay.
You've had your fun, Butcher. When does the oil start to flow again?
It's all fixed, Chief. We got the time cards rounded up, and now we got their melting leader.
So you know the Regent doesn't give a shit who wins your little... The Regent cares about the whale oil coming out on skin.
Interesting.
Arc mines. The latest thing from Sokolov's twisted mind. We're the first ones to get them. How do they work?
This is a reminder that collective bargaining in any industry deemed vital to the state is a capital offense. These include metallurgy, whale collection and refinement,
The arc mine. Yeah, my experiments continue with what I've been calling the arc mine. Initially, I began the work out of idle curiosity. Waking from a nap in the middle of the afternoon during the month of Clans, I wondered whether it might be possible to separate a flat disc filled with the refined whale oil from an array of very short striking rods, until such a time as sufficient weight would be applied to the upper side of the device. After turning to pragmatic considerations, I imagined the arc mine might be used to incinerate some unfortunate members of enemy forces approaching, say, a military encampment. After initial tests on the livestock proved successful, I requested a live human subject, already scheduled for execution for crimes that I assure you, most dire. Burroughs was more than happy to comply, assuming he could witness the destruction. He brought a prisoner from Coldridge, someone named Vaughn, I believe, and we turned him loose in the test area blindfolded, stumbling about until triggering the device. Burroughs was most pleased, not only because of the arc mine's effectiveness as a lethal deterrent, but also because of its potential psychological impacts on the enemy forces. Further, it left no gore or other mess, and Burroughs is a strong supporter of anything clean and tidy. Lovely and terrifying, with nothing left to wipe up. Those were his exact words. I have left notes to myself, assuming I pick the project up again, because there may be a way to produce a version of the arc mine that is entirely harmless, simply rendering the subject unconscious. Much more testing is required.
And selected legal and clerical specializations. Consult the city barrister for clarification and enforcement.
This is really bad. This guy's coming towards me too.
Yeah, it's nice.
Come with me, and you'll see a world of pure imagination. Frank, I told you to have this thing replenished with a full tank at all times. We have a shipment coming in, and this crane better be working by the time it arrives, or someone will be demoted to sewer cleanup. Kanan. I'm gonna bet this thing doesn't work without a full tank. Well, as long as I'm ruining their lives, I might as well fill their tanks up. You know, top it off. I'm sure there's probably a place to get some whale oil. I mean, that's looking disgusting right there. Oh, of course there is. Right there. Shoop. Shoop. Greatest assassin alive. Busy doing the work of common dock workers. Oh, nope, that's great. I accept this. Brilliant.